If you're selling your home in 2024, here's what you need to know about first-time homebuyer programs. The real estate market has already started to transition in Maryland, and we're beginning to see contracts with closing cost and down payment assistance programs. Now, if you're wondering, what does this have to do with me if I'm the one selling my home and I'm not buying it? Hang with me for a minute and I promise I'll explain. I'm Rebecca Cole with Berkshire Hathaway Home Services Realty, and I help people buy and sell real estate in Maryland. We are coming out of an extreme seller's market where first-time homebuyer programs were almost unheard of here in Maryland because competition for houses was so intense. Sellers had stacks of offers to choose from within days of putting their home on the market for sale, and they usually went with an offer that was cash heavy and with the least amount of contingencies. So first-time homebuyer programs fell to the wayside. Now that houses are not flying off the shelf with buyers willing to do just about anything to get into a home, properties are sitting on the market longer and there are less offers to choose from. Now don't get me wrong, we're still in a seller's market and inventory remains low. Houses that are priced appropriately and marketed correctly are still seeing multiple offers. But buyers are no longer willing to make extreme sacrifices just to get their offer accepted. And first-time homebuyers are more educated now than ever before as we're coming out of the post-COVID real estate market. They know what grant money is available and closing cost assistance funds, and they want to take advantage of every program and opportunity to make their new home more affordable. So what does all this mean for you when you're going to sell your house in 2024? If you receive an offer that has a first-time homebuyer program as part of the financing contingency, you need to know which program it is and what the requirements are for the buyer and for you as the seller. There are a lot of first-time homebuyer programs in Maryland, and each one has different guidelines. There are state level, county level programs, then you have your bank and lender specific programs. Some of them require additional underwriting, which can take longer for the financing to go through and could cause a later settlement date. Other programs require additional inspections on the property. And if the house doesn't pass these inspections, guess what? You as the seller can either make these required repairs or the contract may not close, meaning your sale is delayed and the house goes back on the market to find a new buyer. If you're contingent on the sale of your current home to purchase a new one, this could be a huge problem for you as a seller. The most common issue I run into is a loan officer or a real estate agent who doesn't understand the program a first-time home buyer is trying to use. Or they're trying to use a program that the buyer doesn't qualify for, or one that just isn't going to work with the house the buyer wants to purchase. Keep in mind, some of these programs are only available to be used by an approved bank or lender, and many of the programs have income caps and property restrictions. I recently had a seller who accepted an offer with a down payment assistance program. Once we were well into the process, the buyer's agent tried to switch grant programs and use one that would have forced the seller to allow a county inspection. The buyer had already completed their own inspections, we had negotiated repairs, and the appraisal had been completed. It turns out the bank was not an approved lender for the program the buyer wanted to use, and they were trying to switch to a different program that would have delayed settlement by at least 2 or more weeks. Because the down payment program was incorrectly disclosed on the original offer, my client was not obligated to allow additional inspections, and we went to closing on time as scheduled. The bottom line is that first-time homebuyer programs can be a great way to get additional offers on your property and get the most out of your sale. But it's important to work with an agent who understands the different programs and what your obligations are as a seller when considering an offer that has a closing cost or down payment assistance program. While no one wants to prevent a buyer from receiving first-time homebuyer assistance, you need to know upfront what it means to you and the sale. If you'd like more information on these programs or buying and selling in Maryland, my contact information is below. And if you found value in this video, give it a thumbs up and follow or subscribe so you don't miss any of our content.